from the only station working for you. This is RTV6 Good Morning Indiana.
He responded to a crash with urgency to preserve life. Tragically, his was lost. And a big part of that was Lieutenant Allen. That was something that he was there every day. He just pulled money right out of his pocket to help his family. And those are the type of officers we have here.
Remembering a Southport police officer killed in the line of duty. This morning we have team coverage tracking the latest developments in the death of Lieutenant Aaron Allen. From breaking details in that investigation to a growing memorial as our community shows our support. But before we get to that, our team coverage, we do have some breaking news in the death of Southport Lieutenant Allen. We've learned that police have arrested 28-year-old Jason Brown for shooting Allen yesterday. Now, he was arrested for that murder earlier today. Allen was responding to a crash yesterday afternoon on the south side when he was shot and killed. Now we want to get to our team coverage here in the 6:30 half hour of the death of Lieutenant Allen. We have team coverage, as you can see, Nicole Griffin. She's live at Southport where we have that growing memorial outside the police station for Allen. But we do want to begin with our Stephanie Wade. She's outside Eskenazi Hospital with the latest details on that suspect and how we got to today. Stephanie.
Yeah, Lauren, IMPD has just now released the name of the person who was arrested for shooting and killing Lieutenant Aaron Allen. That suspect, 28-year-old Jason Brown, is still here at the Eskenazi detention, along with the other person involved in the shooting. Now, it all began as a call for a car crash on Madison Avenue near Maynard Drive around 2:30 in the afternoon. The call was referenced someone was trapped in the car. You can see in this video it was flipped over. A witness at the scene says the driver was upside down in the vehicle when he began firing at Lieutenant Allen. That witness described hearing at least 20 shots fired. A Homecroft police officer and an off-duty Johnson County Sheriff's deputy returned fire and hit one of the people inside. The other person was taken into custody at the scene. Allen was then rushed here to Eskenazi Hospital in critical condition, but despite medical efforts, he was pronounced dead. Now, the two people who were inside the car were also taken here to Eskenazi, one for injuries after being shot, the other for injuries from the crash. Again, we are just now learning this morning the identification of the person arrested for Lieutenant Allen's murder. The suspect, Jason Brown, is being held here at the Eskenazi detention, awaiting further investigation by homicide investigators. And now that we know the name of the person arrested for shooting Lieutenant Allen, the question remains, why? What led that suspect to open fire on the officer? RTV6's Nicole Griffin is live now in Southport with more on this for our continuing team coverage. And Nicole, I understand there is a memorial set up at the police department.
Well, good morning, Stephanie. Actually seeing this memorial in person on top of Lieutenant Allen's cruiser really makes this entire tragic situation hit home, and that memorial is continuing to grow here this morning with flowers and bears gathering on top of it. And knowing that Lieutenant Allen was just responding to a call to help someone and his life was taken makes this situation all more harder to deal with here for this community this morning. We do know now that Lieutenant Allen was not just an officer, he was a husband and a father. And one thing we are hearing from his brothers here at the police department, he loved and cared about this community. He spent the last 6 years serving as a member of the Southport Police Department, but he has a total of 20 years of experience in law enforcement. A big accomplishment for Lieutenant Allen. In 2015, he won Officer of the Year. He received that honor after saving a man's life at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. But that is not the only memory the police chief is recalling. He says Lieutenant Allen also went the extra mile and did not give up in order to save a woman's life after she overdosed.
She actually got away from the car. We couldn't find her. She was down by the creek bed. So he searched for about 2 hours in the rain to find her. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the kind of guy he was. He would go out of the way. And he was proud of what he did. His mom told me today he's always wanted to be a policeman, and he took that to heart.
The Southport police chief says Lieutenant Allen was a hard worker, and that showed every day he put on his uniform. He says yesterday was no different. He told us he simply responded to a crash with urgency to save a life, and tragically, he lost his zone. And as this memorial continues to grow here this morning, the Southport Police Department tells us here at RTV6 that they appreciate the love and support that the community is offering as they show up to work to continue protecting and serving this community, knowing they lost one of their brothers. We're live here in Southport this morning. Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
A growing memorial for a hero. Thank you, Nicole. Now we're also following the reaction of support. It's pouring in overnight for Lieutenant Allen. Several state leaders and other departments sending out their condolences on social media. Governor Holcomb tweeted, "My thoughts and prayers remain with the families, friends, and other law enforcement community as we mourn the loss of two public safety servants. Our officers are true Hoosier heroes and deserve our support now and always." The Marion County Sheriff's Office tweeting, "Our hearts are broken over the loss of Officer Aaron Allen. Thank you for your heroic service to our community." This morning, the community is also coming to grips with the death of another officer. IMPD Deputy Chief James Waters died yesterday from injuries he suffered during a crash over the weekend. On Sunday, a semi hit the back of his unmarked police cruiser on I-70. Mayor Joe Hogsett has ordered all Marion County flags to be flown at half staff in his honor. Deputy Chief Waters served our city and IMPD for nearly 30 years. This is obviously a somber start to our Friday morning, and many of you are waking up sad, even angry, learning about the deaths of both Officer Aaron Allen there and also Chief James Waters. So we'll be following both of these developing stories all morning long. Right now, you can head over to the IndyChannel.com and your RTV6 app to find out how our community is reacting to the death of Lieutenant Allen. There you can also find the latest on that investigation as we dig deeper into the man allegedly behind the shooting. And Todd, as we're waking up this morning, a lot of us thinking about those officers putting back on their uniforms, heading back out there after all of this has happened. So I want to thank them for their service.
Yeah, absolutely. Each and every day they go out there to protect and serve us. So yeah, thank you for all of you.
But everything is pretty much moving up to speed, so there shouldn't be any cause for concern of delay. Lauren.
Elena, thank you. It's 6:38. Breaking overnight right here in Indy. Officers are working to track down the gunman believed to be behind a triple shooting that happened on the city's northwest side. One person was critically hurt. One was grazed with a bullet. Another hit in the leg. Now, this all happened at 38th Street and Kessler just after 11 o'clock last night. 3 people were hit in their car in that intersection when the shooting happened. Officers are looking for a dark-colored Ford pickup truck that was seen leaving the scene of that shooting. It's 6:39. Breaking overnight, a big blow to the Republican Party in the battle to repeal Obamacare. In the early hours of the morning, the Senate voted against a skinny repeal bill, and that bill failed. So President Trump tweeted shortly after the vote that 3 Republicans and 48 Democrats let the American people down on health care. Moving forward, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is putting the bill on hold. Leaders on both sides seem to agree that something needs to change to come up with a plan. President Trump seems confident there will be a deal, though under different circumstances. New from overnight, we're hearing from Indiana senators about the latest health care vote. First, Republican Todd Young says in part, quote, "Going forward, I will participate in hearings and in the HELP committee to continue to work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to come up with a solution." And then Democratic Senator Joe Donnelly from Indiana also weighing in on that vote. He says in part, quote, "I still believe that we're working together and that can improve our health care system. And at a minimum, Congress and the administration should do no harm to the millions of Americans whose health and economic well-being is at stake." Well, in just minutes, it's time to start your weekend with a laugh. It's Good News Friday. Take a look here as this little girl is not happy. She will no longer be the center of attention. Her attempt to overshadow her new baby brother before he's even born. And a show of true love. Also on Good News Friday, how this elderly man is helping his wife stay cool. Time now is 6:40 on your Friday. We'll be right back after the break.